looking for the Negotiable Instruments Act, 1881.
I'll be asking
Go ahead with
questions.
the. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
a,
go ahead with.
a negotiable instrument is an instrument which is freely transferable from one person to another by. Your options are simple delivery, or endorsement and delivery, or endorsement, or registered post.
Right. Checking that, the correct answer is endorsement and delivery. Bearer instruments transfer by delivery only, but order instruments need both endorsement and delivery. Registered post isn't a mode of negotiation under the Act.
When they say a negotiable instrument which is an instrument which is freely transferable, what kind of negotiable is it?
Checking. That phrase is describing a general feature of negotiable instruments, that they can be transferred from one person to another. The method of transfer depends on the type of instrument.
An instrument which is vague and cannot be clearly identified either as a bills of exchange or as a promissory note is called as. Your options are bearer's instrument, or ambiguous instrument, or order instrument, or inland instrument.
Checking. The correct answer is ambiguous instrument under Section 17.
As per Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, negotiable instrument means promissory note, bills of exchange, check, or all of the above.
Checking. The correct answer is all of them.
How many parties in bills of exchange? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Checking. The correct answer is 3. Drawer, drawee, and payee.
So drawer, drawee, and payee. Is it not endorser?
Checking. Good question. No, the endorser isn't an original party.
So here the drawer
Still
is the
has-
one who is drawing the bill, and drawee is the one who is accepting it, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So isn't
Right,
payee
exactly.
and the drawee same?
Checking. Not necessarily. They can be the same, but they don't have to be.
Example where they are all are different. Give an example.
Sure. A draws a bill on B, ordering B to pay C. Here, A is the drawer, B is the drawee, and C is the payee. All are different.
So A is the one who is drawing the bill.
Right.
On whom?
Mm-hmm.
On whom?
Right. A draws on B, so B is the drawee.
So A is the one who is giving order to B to pay to the payee.
Right.
Okay. So on which of the followings even not defined in Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 provisions of the Act are applicable? Is it hundies, is it treasury bills, or bearer debentures, or all of the above?
Checking. All of the above. Yeah, that includes hundies, treasury bills, and bearer debentures.
So these three are not mentioned in the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881.
Checking. Right. Yeah, that's correct. Those three aren't defined in the Act. The Act defines promissory notes, bills of exchange, and checks.
which is not essential characteristics of a bill of exchange. It must be in writing, or it must contain an express promise to pay, or instrument must be signed or must be stamped. So, a bill of exchange must be in writing.
Yes, it must be in writing.
So, it must be stamped as well.
Right. It must be properly stamped where the stamp law requires.
Which is not an inland instrument. Uh, your options are what if P oblique N indicate made in India?
Checking. Sounds like the first option got cut off. Could you read the 4 options once more?
P oblique N made in India, and plus payable in India, plus drawn upon a person resident in India. I didn't understand what is P oblique N.
Right. That describes an inland instrument. If the question asks which is not, I'll need the other options.
No, I'm asking that what P oblique N here indicates.
Checking. PON here likely stands for promissory note.
Yeah. So
It's
from
probably
so
an
promissory,
abbreviation.
I got it. So promissory note made in India. So the first, I have 4 options where all has the first can the correct. I mean, I have to take the correct answer, which is not an inland instrument. So the first, there are 4 options in which promissory note made in India is common, and the next is um, payable in India for the A and B, and for C and D it's payable outside India and payable outside India as well. And next criteria is drawn upon a person resident in India. So the first option is inland instrument, but they asked which is not inland. Second is promissory note made in India, payable in India, drawn upon a person resident outside in India. So, and the
Checking.
wait. And the third option is promissory note made in India plus payable outside India plus drawn upon a person resident in India. Option D is promissory note made in India plus payable outside India and drawn upon a person resident outside India. So I think option D is correct. I mean, which is not an inland instrument, which is promissory note made in India, but payable outside India and drawn upon a person who resident outside India, which means who is not a resident.
Checking. You're close, but for a promissory note drawn upon a person
So
doesn't
the
apply.
promissory note made in India plus payable outside India plus drawn upon a person resident outside India. So it's not an inland instrument.
Yes, assuming those
Mhm.
options, option D is correct. It's not an inland instrument. Just note that phrasing strictly applies to bills of exchange
So
and
negotiable.
checks, not.
So negotiable instrument which can be treated either promissory note or bills of exchange is known as ambiguous instrument.
Checking. Correct.
Order instrument can be negotiated by uh, option A by delivery only, or option B by endorsement only, or by endorsement and delivery, or none of the above.
Right. For an order instrument, the correct answer is by endorsement and delivery. Bearer instruments transfer by delivery only.
So order instrument can be endorsed as well.
Yes,
So
by endorsement and delivery.
so bearer. What about bearer? Can it be endorsed?
Bearer instruments transfer by delivery only, not by endorsement.
So because it's not necessary to endorse, isn't it? As it can be handed freely.
Yeah, exactly.
So where any check drawn by a person is dishonored due to insufficiency of funds, such person shall be punished with option R, imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine which may extend to twice the amount of the check, or option C, imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with a fine which may extend to twice the amount of the check, or with both. Option D, no punishment.
Check it. The correct answer is option C, imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to twice the check amount, or both. That's per section 138 of the Negotiable Instruments Act.
Yeah. Let me read some case studies. Not case studies, sorry. Some questions which is based on negotiable instrument. You have to answer it.
Sure, send them over.
M drew a check amounting to rupees 2 lakh payable to N and subsequently delivered to him. So M drew a check amounting to rupees 2 lakh payable to N and subsequently delivered to him. Let me read the question again. So M drew a check amounting to rupees 2 lakh payable to N, and subsequently delivered to him. After receipt of check, N endorsed the same to C, but kept it in his safe locker. After some time, N died, and P found the check in the N's safe locker. Does this amount to endorsement under negotiable instrument? Does this amount to endorsement under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881? Let me read the answer. The answer is no. P does not become the holder of the check, as the negotiation was not completed by the delivery of the check to him. The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881.
Checking. Yes, that is correct. The endorsement wasn't completed by delivery, so P does not become the holder.
So, can tell me one thing. As in the question, it has been mentioned that after receipt of check, and endorsed the same to C, but kept in his safe locker. How can someone endorse it by keeping it in the safe locker?
Checking. That's a sharp observation. The key difference is between making an endorsement and completing the negotiation. Here, the endorsement was made, but not delivered. Delivery must
Give an
come
example,
from the
I mean,
endorsement.
how it is done without being delivery.
Checking. Sure. Suppose M draws a check payable to N and writes on the back 2 section pay, E, or order. But instead of giving it to C, N keeps it in his desk drawer or safe locker. C never receives it, so delivery never happens.
So, next question. This is another question. M
Mhm.
owes money to N. Therefore, he makes a promissory note for the amount in favor of N. For safety of transmission, he cuts the note in half and posts one half to N. He then changes his mind and calls upon to N to return the half of the note which he had sent, and requires M to send the other half of the promissory note. Decide how the rights of the parties are to be adjusted. Let me read the answer.
Checking. This is a classic case.
No,
A
let me
promissory
read the
note isn't-
answer. I do have the answer
Sure.
in my book.
Sounds good.
Hold up a second. Wait a second. Before I read, please wait.
Sure. Take your time.
The questions arising in this problem is whether the making of promissory note is complete when one half of the note was delivered to N. But I have a question before I read the answer from my book. When they say it has been made in two parts, how it's been made?
Checking. Good question. The note isn't created as two separate notes. M wrote one complete promissory note, then cut the paper into two pieces because he feared loss in the post. He posted one half. to
Could you
N
explain
and
it again?
intended-
No.
Sure. M writes a promissory note, then cuts the paper into two halves and posts only one half to N. because
Does
the
it
complete
when they
note,
say in two parts, does it mean that it's writing the whole in two different parts, or
no,
it's cutting the body in the half?
it means cutting the single paper the note's written on into two pieces, not drafting two separate notes. So one physical document cut in half.
So the question says that M owes money to N, therefore he makes a promissory note for the amount in favor of N. Alright. For safety of transmission, he cuts the note in half and posts one half to N. I understood up to this much of the question, and then he then changes his mind and calls upon N to return the half of the note which he had sent. Okay, now M is demanding the other half again as he changes his mind. Now N requires M to send the other half of the promissory note. Now N is also demanding the other half. Is that what I can conclude by reading the question?
Checking. Yes, you've got the sequence right. M wants the half back, and N is asking for the remaining half.
Alright. Decide how rights of the parties are to be adjusted. Let me read the answer now. The questions arising in this problem is whether the making of promissory note is complete when one half of the note was delivered to N under section 46 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. The making of promissory note is completed by delivery, actual or constructive. Delivery refers to the whole of the instrument and not merely a part of it. Delivery of half instrument cannot be treated as a constructive delivery of the whole. So the claim of N to have the other half of Pn sent to him is not maintainable. So the claim of N to have the other half of the promissory note sent to him is not maintainable. M is justified in demanding the return of the first half sent by him. He can change his mind and refuse to send the other half of the promissory note.
Checking. Correct. M can demand return of the first half and may refuse to send the other half.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Sure. Since delivery of only half the note isn't valid delivery of the instrument, the negotiation wasn't completed.
So here M also cannot legally demands it, isn't it?
Correct. The note was never validly delivered, so M can't enforce the promissory note.
Could you explain what is constructive delivery?
Checking. Sure. Constructive delivery can sound confusing. Actual delivery is physically handing over the instrument. Constructive delivery means the law treats it as delivered even if not physically. For example, giving the locker key to the person entitled and telling the bank to release the note. But cutting a note in half and sending only half is neither actual nor constructive delivery of the whole instrument.
Let me read the next question. Am I audible?
Yes.
So Bolenac drew a check in favor of surrender After having issued the check, Bholenath requested Surendra not to present the check for payment and gave a stop payment request to the bank in respect of the check issued to Surendra. Decide under the provisions of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 whether the said acts of Bholenath constitute an offence. Let me read.
Checking.
Let me read the.
Please.
Let me read the answer. As per the fact stated in the question, Bholenath, the drawer, after having issued the check, informs Surendra, the drawee, not to present the check for payment, and as will give a stop payment request to the bank in respect of the check is issued to Surendra. So the one who is issuing that check, is he called a drawer?
Yes. The one who issues the check is the drawer. Mhm.
Yeah. Further, Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 is a penal provisions of in the sense that once a check is drawn on account maintained by the drawer with his banker for payment of any amount of money to another person out of that account for the discharge in whole or in part of any debt or liability is informed by the bank unpaid either because of insufficiency of funds to honor the checks or the amount of exceeding the arrangement made with the bank, such a person shall be deemed to have committed an offence. Once a check is issued by the drawer, a presumption under Section 139 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 follows, and merely because the drawer issues a notice thereafter to the drawee or to the bank for stoppage of payment, it will not preclude an action under Section 138. When they say will not preclude uh, an action under Section 138, what does it mean?
Checking. It means the action under Section 138 is not prevented. So, even if stop payment is instructed, a Section 138 action can still be filed.
Now, what is Section 138?
Checking. Section 138 of the Negotiable Instruments Act deals with dishonor of a check for insufficiency of funds or similar reasons. For example, if A owes B 50,000 rupees, gives a check, and the bank returns it unpaid, if B follows the legal process and A still doesn't pay within 15 days, B can file a complaint under Section 138, which may lead to imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to twice the check amount.
Also, Section 140 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 specified absolute liability of the drawer to the check for commission of an offence under Section 138 of the Act. Section 140 states that it shall not be a defence in a prosecution for an offence under Section 138 that the drawer had no reason to believe when he issued the check that the check may be dishonoured on presentment for the reasons stated in that section. Accordingly, the section of Bholenath is a request to stop payment constitutes an offence under the provisions of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881.
Checking. Yes, you've captured the logic correctly. Section 140 blocks the defense that I didn't expect the check to be dishonoured. Instructions won't shield the drawer from liability.
how much we have studied. I just went for a while, so I forgot.
Oh, we've been over check dishonor under sections 138 to 142, then presentment for payment under section 64, and issues about delivery and endorsements.
Yeah. So, what is the right way to memorize this law answers? It's the wordings are very much technical. It's not a normal English.
Checking. Yeah, that's a common struggle. You don't need to memorize every sentence. Focus on the core idea. For example, for section 46, just remember delivery completes the note. Then, turn cases into short 4-point stories. So, facts, section, rule, conclusion. Use simple phrasing. Then, practice writing in your own words instead of quoting. Also, keep a tiny notebook. Columns for section number, 1-line rule, 1-line conclusion. Before the exam, revise those lines. Then expand into full sentences when writing. That reduces panic and it's easier to recall.
So let me read the answer again. As per the facts stated in the question, Bolenath, drawer, after having issued the check, informs the surrender, the drawee, not to present a check for payment, and as will give a stop payment.